Today I'm doing a try-on and review of the Sahara palette from Alter Ego. They say it's a dupe for the Biba palette from Natasha Denona. Come along, let's find out how it is. Welcome back, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. I'm super excited about today's video because we're going to be talking about the new Sahara palette from Alter Ego. And if you're not familiar with Alter Ego, they're a company that's really getting quite famous for doing dupes, very affordable, very quality dupes for some really high-end eyeshadow palettes. This is the Sahara palette, and it is actually said to be a dupe for the Biba palette from Natasha Denona. Here we have the palette we'll be working with today, and I think it's just a beautiful neutral palette. So I'm really excited about digging into this. But first I want to tell you the story of how all of this happened. I was sitting at home one morning minding my own business, and my girl Jeannie over at Get This Glowing, you might know her, messages me, "Oh my gosh, the Sahara palette is dropping today from Alter Ego. We've got to get it. It's a dupe for Biba." She was so excited, this girl. And here's the funny thing. I like makeup. She gets giddy over makeup. And she's texting me and messaging me all about this particular palette while she's at the airport, I think, getting ready to go on vacation. So here she's got vacation plans in the works, and she's talking about an eyeshadow palette. So I thought that was cute as heck. So I went ahead and got the palette, and Jeannie and I are doing a collab on the Sahara palette from Alter Ego today. If you're not familiar with Jeannie, you're going to want to be. She is a darling of the YouTube makeup world. That girl knows makeup backwards and forwards. It's such a passion for her. You know, a lot of us like makeup. I enjoy makeup. I enjoy talking about makeup and using makeup. That girl gets giddy. It's like it's like Christmas Eve for her every day with makeup. So make sure you go on over to Get This Glowing, watch her videos, make sure you click subscribe and join her little family over there. She's a delight and you will love her. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed and you'd like to, just go ahead and click that red subscribe button down below. Make sure you click like and hit that notification bell, and YouTube will give you a heads up when there's something new for you to watch. As you can see, I have most of my makeup done. I have my complexion done, my eyebrows done. I'm wearing just a little bit of lip gloss. It's the Keep It Full from Milani in the Rosewood. This is a beautiful shade for fall, and I'm really enjoying it. And we're going to be working with a Sahara palette today doing the eyes. I'm really excited about that. But let's talk a little bit about Alter Ego and what they do and how they compare to some of the higher end palettes. This is a 15 pan palette, and the Natasha Denona Biba palette is a 15 pan palette as well. The Natasha Denona Biba palette retails, I believe, for $130. I picked this up on the Alter Ego website for $16. What a huge price difference, right? Well, the interesting thing is that Alter Ego, I think, now has 3 or 4 dupe palettes, or some very, very high-end expensive palettes. And the rave reviews about them are all over the internet. It really does seem to be a very, very quality product, quality shadows, and a lot of people have said you just really can't tell the difference between the Alter Ego palette and whatever palette there is that they're duping it. So we're going to be working with this today. I'm going to be talking about how the shadows feel, how the colors blend, that sort of thing, and we'll see, is this really a viable purchase when you're looking for a beautiful neutral palette? You can see with the colors in this palette that it really is a glorious neutral selection. And the colors go from really sort of a light tan down into a deep, rich burgundy. And we even have almost a black down here in the corner. One of the interesting colors that I like in this palette, it has a couple of grays, sort of a dove gray, a soft, medium dove gray and a light dove gray, and I think that that's an interesting addition. So let's go ahead and swatch a few of these. So up at the top we have sort of a shimmer color that it's more of a goldy than a champagne, into a camel color. This is Canyon right here. This almost yellow ochre, a little bit darker than yellow ochre right here, is Plains, and then we have bronze over here. Savannah and Adobe, these are 2 good transition colors. We'll probably be working with one of them today. Then we work into, this is kind of a muted burgundy color. It's very rich and deep, and that is Sahara. Then we go into Jewel, which is your really glorious champagne shimmer color. Over here is Fox, a really rich, pretty brown. Down at the bottom we have Sands. This would be the color that if you wanted to neutralize your lid and put down a base to begin with, you'd go into Sands. I think would be a really good choice. Then we have Raven right here, kind of a deep taupey, cool brown. And then of course the two grays, that's Clay and Slate right here. I think those are pretty options. And then the dark, almost black is Mega. So some really pretty colors. Let's go ahead and swatch a few. Let's look at Camel and then that sort of ochre color right here. So you can see the Camel and then the ochre color right here, both really pretty. These two are Savannah and Adobe, which I think would be good transition shades. So Savannah at the top and Adobe at the bottom. And then let's look at some of the shimmer shades. I'm going to go into the Mirage and into the Jewel. So kind of the slight bronzy tone and the Champagne. Let's put those right down here. You can see those. Really pretty colors. You know, one thing I can say about this palette, even if it wasn't a dupe or I didn't hear about it being a dupe and I saw it somewhere, I'd really be intrigued by it because I think there's some glorious colors in here. And what we're going to really see today is how the formulas work, if there's fallout, if they blend well, and how they wear today. So that's what we'll be looking at. Before we get started with the eyeshadow, I want to point out to you guys, I got a new haircut. Remember I'd complained about the unfortunate haircut I got a few months back, so I went and got a new cut, and I kind of like it. I don't know, how do you guys like it? So anyway, that's the news on my end of things with my hair. To start off today, I'm going to dip my brush into this color Sands right down here in the bottom and just sort of lay a really nice base on each of my lids, just to sort of neutralize the colors and just get things started. This is smoothing over the lid really nicely. The formula feels almost a little creamy, you know, kind of a very smooth application. Now I'm going to go into the color Savannah right here with a crease brush and start working that into the crease area. When I'm working with shadows with my mature eyes, I really like to stay above my actual natural crease, because if I put it right in the crease and then I open my eyes, that color is just going to disappear. So I like to make sure that I stay above it and then work down into the natural crease. Now I'm going to go in with the blending brush and really blend that crease color in so that it has a very smooth transition across the lid. Just really blending both the top and bottom areas and just really smoothing that color out so it looks very watercolor-like across the lid. Now I'm going to go back in with my crease brush again and dip into the color Adobe and start working that crease area and really deepening it up. See how that's adding some dimension to that crease area? I'm going to pull a little bit of that Adobe down into the outside corner of my eye, down into the lid. Just really lightly swirling that color around. Now back in with the blending brush to really blend those two colors together and make sure that those edges are very smooth. Now I'm going to take a little detail brush and go into this color Raven, which is really like a dark, almost chocolatey brown. It's a cool color. It really tends towards the cooler side. And I'm just going to tap a little bit on my brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to hit that outer corner of my eyelid up into the crease. And I'm going to start it with just tapping motions. You know, with my skin, because it moves around on my eyelids, starting with a tapping motion really seems to be more effective. Gosh, that's such a pretty color. And I'm just working that up from the lid up into the outside edge of that crease area. Back in with my blending brush to blend that darker color in. You know, with eyeshadow application, so much of it is just blend. So I'm really enjoying this blending brush that I got. I think I got it in one of my monthly subscription boxes. It just really works very well for blending. So I'm just going to circle that around, kind of keeping it in the same area, maybe a little bit into the V, into the crease. Now that I have that outside accent color blended in, I'm going to go back in with a flat brush and hit into this color Jewel, which is kind of this really champagne shimmer color, and that's going to go all over the lid almost to the outside corner. Isn't that a pretty color? Now that I have that over both lids, the jewel color, I'm going to go back in with my finger and really just pop more of a highlight onto that lid area. There seems to be such a difference when you apply a shadow with a brush or with your finger. It's just really remarkable to me what a different finish you can get depending on how you apply it. Now that I have that shimmer shade worked over the lids, I'm going to go back in with just a small detail brush and tap it into this color Sands and really define that area right underneath the eyebrows with just a little bit of that lighter color. Well, the shadow work is done. I'm going to go ahead and do my mascara and a little bit of tight lining, and I'll be right back. Today I'm using the L'Oreal Unlimited mascara. I've heard a lot about this, so we'll take a look at it when I've got it all on. Be right back. Here we have the finished look. I use the L'Oreal Unlimited mascara, and I can say it does give you a nice dark lash. I find it just a little bit hard to work with. It seemed to be a bit of a challenge. It does have one of those you know, it has a very, very short little bristle area, and then it has that thing where you can turn it sideways. I've never used this, but some people might find this really handy. I know a lot of people really, really love this mascara. I just find it, while I find it nice and dark, it just seems a little tough to not clump up and that sort of thing. I did want to mention, you know, I did my eyebrows before we started today, and I used the On Point brow pencil. This is a micro brow pencil. I got this in PR. I used the color Cafe Latte. They'd sent me 2 colors, and I'm really, really liking it. Look how tiny that little pencil is. And it goes on nice and smooth and creamy, but it, you know, it's stiff enough to really hold a line. So I'm really liking this. This is some worthy PR. I'll go ahead and try to find a link and put it on the website for you. On my lips, I'm wearing the Almay Go Wild lipstick. I really like this. This is a beautiful neutral color. And to line my lips, I use the Milani lip liner in Spice. I think this is a beautiful look for fall. Just the nice, natural, neutral colors and kind of really a fall palette. I can say that this is a good palette, particularly for the price, $16. I think that that's, you know, a very, very good value. I liked working with the colors. They blend really well. I haven't swatched a dud yet. You know, that's the kind of color that you swatch it and nothing really comes off. Every color I used was really nice and pigmented. And I can say that the thing that I like most about this palette is how well the colors blend. They just blend beautifully and they work together really well. So when I went in with the Savannah to put in the original crease color and then darken it down with Adobe, they just work together really, really beautifully to allow some dimension to that crease color. I'm liking this palette. I think it's a good choice for fall. I think that the value is really there. The one thing I can say is there was some fallout. So although I did my complexion makeup first today, in the future, when I use this palette, I'll definitely do the eyeshadows first because there was a little bit of fallout on the colors that I used. So this is 15 beautiful neutral shades. It's the Alter Ego palette Sahara. Apparently it's a dupe for the Biba from Natasha Denona. So if you don't want to spend $129 on a palette, I mean, come on, let's think about it. I went to Florence for 2 months, flew from San Francisco to Rome. My ticket was $500. So you can either buy a quarter of a ticket to Rome or the Natasha Denona palette. So think about that. Or you can get the Sierra palette for $16. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by today. You know, it just tickles me when you take some time out of your day to spend it with me. I hope this was helpful for you. I think these Alter Ego palettes are just a great find, and I'm kind of really excited to see what they come up with in the future. If you're looking for more, make sure you stop by prettyover50.com on the website where we have makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet and you'd like to, just go ahead and smash that subscribe button down below and make sure you hit the notification bell, and YouTube will let you know when there's something new for you to watch. Thank you again for joining me. I just had a great time working with this palette, and I'm glad that you were here with me. Make it a great day. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.